Pokemon has been being weird as of late, and honestly, I'm kind of loving it, because we can definitely start to see the shift on what Pokemon is and what Pokemon could be. Now, not only in 2025, but also in 2026, we got a bunch of different Pokemon games, and honestly, I'm really excited for a lot of them. Now, not only are we going to be talking about Pokemon Legends ZA, but the upcoming Pokemon games. So starting off with, of course, Pokemon Legends ZA. Now this isn't technically your typical Pokemon game, where you sit back and relax, click one button, look at the move, okay, I'm gonna do this. No, it's more of your action-packed adventure game. Now, not necessarily to say that you're going to be adventuring like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet gave you, but it's more like you're in a condemned city that they had more time to work on, so the city should be at its full potential. Instead of working everywhere else like an entire land that they definitely could have missed a lot of spots, like Scarlet and Violet, they missed a lot of spots. They got a nice compact city where the city itself could have so many different places to explore. And honestly, I'm really loving that. The different Pokemon that you can catch in this city. Now at first, I definitely was not the biggest fan of being stuck in a city. Legends Arceus gave you so much to do and so much to explore. And now you mean to tell me I'm stuck in a city for the entire game? What in the world? But now, as I keep seeing different trailers and different ways that you can see the game, honestly, my golly, this game looks good. Now, I recently just watched a Japanese trailer of Pokemon Legends ZA, and my goodness, this has actually changed the way I see it. Now, this whole trailer just starts off on a train for some reason, and then you see the entrance to the city, which is really cool. So is this how the game's going to start? You're just going on with your day and you have to go to the Lumio city to explore and to research Pokemon. So you're going into the city to research all that Pokemon. You're from somewhere completely different, maybe Kanto, and now you're going into Lumio city, researching Pokemon and all the Pokemon that are everywhere to become the greatest Pokemon trainer. That could very well be the way the gimmicks and the mechanics, how everything kind of shapes up so you are ready to battle, catch Pokemon, and honestly have a great time. So I think the city is definitely going to have a lot of buildings to explore, a lot of different ways that you can play the game, and overall, I'm really excited. Now in terms of the DLC that they announced for a game that's not even out, now I don't want to just sit here and say, you know what, this is completely bogus. Honestly, why are we seeing a DLC for a game that's not even out? Maybe they have their reasons. Maybe they've been working on Pokemon Legends ZA for so long and they want to say, you know what, we're gonna release this DLC when the time comes. Maybe we need to have more and more so we can work on our next projects or something like that. Overall, it's something very interesting, and honestly, this DLC is pretty much the post game on what you could have seen in Legends ZA. So I don't know if you're a big fan of DLC, if you're not a big fan, because when you think about it, there's a lot of games that would you rather have transactions where the game is free, but you have to pay for one level, you have to pay for the next level, you have to pay for all of this stuff, or would you rather there's new levels and stuff that comes out a little bit later, but you have to pay for them all. Now, the game wouldn't be free, of course, but, you know, or there's the other option where the game just kind of sucks and is not well polished and all of this stuff. So I don't know. DLC, no DLC, it's something very interesting. But I don't really want to sit here and talk about all Pokemon Legends ZA. No, we're jumping straight into 2026. Now, not only is there going to be a lot of games for Pokemon releasing in 2026, but it's conveniently enough the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, where we can see a bunch of different games like Pokemon Generation 10, Pokemon Generation 5, Pokemon Pokopia, and Pokemon Champions. Those are 4 games that are most likely going to be seeing in 2026. That's honestly more games that we've seen ever in one year. But starting off with Pokemon Pokopia. Honestly, this game looks great, and it gives me those vibes of jumping back into 2020 where Animal Crossing was a thing. Because Pokemon Pokopia is something really unique and very interesting. I'm honestly so excited for Pokemon Pokopia because of the fact that you can get your Pokemon that you really love and make them do a whole bunch of different things. You can get a Machamp to build a house or something like that. You can get Bulbasaurs to put grass all over the place, Squirtles to water the grass. You can get Charmanders to burn the dead grass or something like that. Overall, you can have a bunch of different Pokemon do a bunch of different things. And honestly, I bet there's going to be even greater things like legendary Pokemon inside this game. Now, you're probably not going to see them right off the bat. You're probably going to have to do a bunch of different quests, make sure your village is nice and stable, and honestly, do probably the entire game until you get yourself a legendary Pokemon. And getting a legendary Pokemon would probably improve on your experience in the game even further. Like, what if there was an Arceus, like from Legends Arceus, where you can kind of shape the time, you can shape the terrain, or you can do a whole bunch of different things with Arceus. That could be a possibility. I think it would be cool. I just hope that, honestly, this would be something that we can see. Because overall, Pokemon Pokopia looks really cool. And if you took any time looking at the end of the trailer, you can see that this looks like a route. Are you essentially just creating a Pokemon game at this point? Is this what Pokemon Pokopia actually is going to be? Overall, it's something unique. Now, moving over to Pokemon Champions. Now, Pokemon Champions as well is looking really, really fantastic. You know, being able to play your base Pokemon games now that we recently got Pokemon Legends EA. Of course, I'm talking in the future, but overall, it's really, really cool. And honestly, I think that this is probably the best way to shape Pokemon. Because then, if Pokemon Legends ZA's sort of action-packed battling works very, very well, guess what? Then you can see more and more of that into a base Pokemon game instead of not really being in tune with your adventure. Well, then you can play Pokemon Champions, you can get the action-packed gameplay that you got from now the mainline Pokemon games and have fun. Of course, they're going to keep doing remasters, and one remaster to keep into note is Pokemon Generation 5. Now, this has been a leak/rumor for a long time, and I think for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, we're finally going to be seeing it. Maybe we can see some sort of art from a different company. Maybe we can see something like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Those games looked really, really nice, and maybe seeing it inside of the Pokemon Generation 5 art style would be also really, really cool. It'll give you that nice, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous art style where the colors pop and you're like, wow, this is immersive. Honestly, I think games with the colors pop really, really stand out than the games that are black and white. But overall, it's really, really exciting. And probably the biggest excitement of 2026 is going to be Pokemon Generation 10. Now, Generation 10 definitely has a lot to offer, and now with the leaked of Greek mythology sort of Pokemon, makes a lot of sense. With the Cyglades being your world, your map, really, really interesting, and even more leaks about the fact that you can ride Pokemon that you catch. So you can get a water-based Pokemon. Maybe you can get a Blastoise. You can ride on the back of the Blastoise, and you can make your way to the next island, to the next island, to the next island. Jumping over islands, fighting gym leaders, and doing all of that stuff. Pokemon Generation 10 looks to be a fantastic game, and I'm really excited for what's to come for Pokemon. I think that all of these changes to Pokemon are really, really exciting. Instead of the baseline that's just like, well, we get a one spin-off game, it's pretty much all the same spin-off games. We got the same Pokemon games, pretty much I would say the same Pokemon. You do this, you start off Route 1, you catch Pokemon, you move on to the next and the next and the next, and then you fight and gym battles and heal up and a whole bunch of things, and then you move on. But now, we're seeing that shift, and it's exciting. It is so exciting. Pokemon Pokopia, really excited for that game. I hope that there's a physical release because that game would be the star of the shelf. Honestly, I think it's going to be beautiful. But overall, everything is exciting, and it's almost time for Pokemon Legends ZA. Are you going to be picking up Pokemon Legends ZA? Let me know in the comments section down below. And are you going to be picking up the DLC for the complete experience of Pokemon Legends ZA? Or do you think this is weird? Why are Nintendo or the Pokemon Company charging for a game that's not even out? A DLC for a game that's not even out. This is ridiculous. This is bonkers. I'm putting my foot down. It's completely okay if you put your foot down because honestly, I think that it's a little weird to see DLC for a game that's not even out yet. But it looks to be a pretty interesting DLC is what I have to say about it. Maybe we can see different lands, and finally, we can explore Lumio City outside of Lumio City. So we can explore Kalos to the heart's content. Maybe that's what Pokemon is leading to. Generation 10 will be island hopping all the way to Kalos at some point. Overall, what do you think about all this stuff? And consider hit the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. I do a bunch of different Nintendo content, Mario Galaxy, Metroid, whatever other games come out. Legend of Zelda, that's my big favorite, and Pokemon, of course. Anyways, consider hit the like button, maybe subscribing, and have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.